Wrong show, baby. That's the wrong show.
That's how we're rolling
absolutely. It's 100% the wrong show, ladies and gentlemen. That was on last night. Tonight you are on Blondes and Booze. It might be a little bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I just hit go live and that's what it came up.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was the show that was on last night.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. It's all good. We're here now. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. You guys talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna try to fix this. Hold on.
All righty. Marilyn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Other than having a TENS unit on, like I was telling everybody in front, if I start jerking, it's because this thing has got me. I'm not having a fit or anything.
Yeah, we're going to see Marilyn okay. Anyway, so she's not having any seizures. It's just the TENS unit.
Yes.
Not to fret. Brandy, how are you doing today?
I am doing a lot better than yesterday. Like I was telling you guys, for some reason, I got up and I was getting ready to do the show last night. And I was getting ready. And then all of a sudden, I just, started sweating, felt nauseous. And I was like, oh, my God, what's happening here? I mean, I've had it hit before like that where I was sick for quite some time, where it was just all of a sudden, I was good and then I wasn't. And that's what was happening last night. But I did go to bed early. I got some rest. I think that all of this is allergies. And it was due to a migraine that I had been fighting all day yesterday. And it just started and then all of that hit at the same time. So I do feel better today. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Good.
So it sounds like you passed it to Brandy. Or I'm sorry, passed it to Christy or Krista.
Mm-hmm. She's not doing well today. She's got the migraine.
Yeah. See, but I started yesterday. Well, what they're doing is everybody knows that I live in farmlands. Well, they are burning and plowing and getting ready to plant. So with all the smoke in the air, the dust in the air, I didn't stand a chance yesterday. And it doesn't matter, everyone. If you do have all your windows and doors closed, it helps a little, but it does not keep it out. I mean, my house smelled like smoke yesterday, smelled like smoke this morning. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, they need to quit that. It was windy. And I'm like, how are they burning?
Yeah.
They better have the fire department out here, at least the county, at least to check to make sure my house doesn't burn down out here. Right. Like crazy people.
Yeah. We're having controlled burns down here in Florida too. And we're having a lot of people with migraines here. The pollen, just the gunk is just in the air. And in fact, Monday night, it looked like it was snowing and it was falling ash all over.
Wow. Yeah. I understand that completely. I understand that absolutely completely. And, and it doesn't stop there with the burning and the planting season, because then comes fertilizing. So they do have planes that drop fertilizer, and it is not liquid, everyone. It is like pellets. And it hits your car, it hits your house, it hits everything. So I have to make sure that if I've got like my Jeep is outside now, I'm going to have to cover it up when they start doing that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys.
So I know you live in the country. So Natalie, why were they burning in your area?
So just east of here is farmland.
Okay.
And so they are starting to clear out the fields, getting ready to plant everything. And so they're doing controlled burns there. And in addition, if there's any fields that are close to houses, they do a controlled burn to make sure that if there is a wildfire or anything, that it's cleared out way beforehand. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Nice.
It's all
I
around.
just have the farmer out here with a tractor, just watching it. That's what he does. Yeah. And all they do is they just till it under. If it starts getting out of control, they just till it under, and it'll eventually quit. I mean, that's my fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. It's for the sugar cane. Absolutely.
Getting a lot of hellos.
Hi, everybody. Well, tonight we decided that we're gonna bring back Momo Kenny. Now, if you don't know who Momo Kenny is, he was on our show. Was it last week or the week before?
I think week before.
I think week before. Week before.
And you know, his thing is, which is super amazing, is he wants to hear and document your encounter stories, no matter what they are. He wants it to, and he will draw out exactly what you're describing to him. And he is a fantastic artist, and we're so happy and so glad that we got him to come on tonight. You know, the more I get to know him, because it's like I'm seeing him so much more than I ever used to. So this is super awesome. He's getting some stories and stuff of his own. So that is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see what he comes up with that. But what we're doing tonight is we are going to have Natalie and Mary Lynn tell him one of their encounter stories. And he is going to draw that out for them. And we're going to talk about their whole encounter stories, which is, I think, is just absolutely fantastic. I can't begin to say how great that is.
And he is so
talented. Everybody's heard the story, mine and Krista's story. Plus, she's not here tonight, so we're not going to do that one. But if we have time, then I have another encounter story that I'll bring up if we have the time. But you know, this does take a little bit of finesse and how should I say, interview skills, should I say, because you're trying to get out of the person exactly all the details of what they saw so you could draw it completely and accurately. So this is going to be fun. Let's go ahead and bring up Momo Kenny.
All right, there he is.
There he is.
I'm still looking at the screen. I can't see the screen on my phone, so I got to look off to the side if I have to reply. Yeah.
That's okay. That's
awesome.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, great to have you here.
Yep,
Yes.
glad to be here. It was about a week and a half ago, right?
Yeah. It was right after I saw you the last time.
Yep.
When we did the pilot knob.
Thing. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we went to a battlefield called Pilot Knob and went through all the history and everything there of all the soldiers that had died there. And we went through even how they planned their attack and how it was just amazing. It was just absolutely amazing and sad all at the same time. And then, and then we walked out to the site, and then we were out there, of course, with our ghost boxes and everything, trying to figure out if we can get anybody. That's pretty fun.
When Natalie was talking about she's got a new app on her phone. What was it?
I do. I'm testing it out. It's called SPI. And we tried it out on Paranormal Among Us on Tuesday. So Paul had the app. And as we were talking, he was getting responses. So it was pretty cool. So I said, I want to get that app. So right now I have it up. And so far I've been told to go to hell and then guess.
Ooh.
Yeah. Right. So I'm like, okay, all right. It's not my worst Thursday night, but okay.
Right. I personally, I am not a big fan of apps on the phone, only because they have a microphone, they have a camera, they can listen. We've found that out many times. Like you can look up something on Amazon, then you go to Facebook and there's 10,000 ads on the same thing you just looked up for Amazon. Right. So they do that, they track it, and it's not all apps, but I'm not sure which ones do it or which ones don't. So this way, I'm old fashioned. I go straight to the old ghost box with the radio and just sweep radio waves. But I do have the apps where I'll have them on to see sometimes if I can get something that coincides with each other to see. I every once in a while I do, but not very much. Every once in a while I do. But my favorite thing is just listening for disembodied voices and the EVP thing anyway. So I'm like, you play with the apps if you want to, but me, I'll stick to old school. Because I just think that it works better for me. Not everybody. Yeah.
I'm going retro too.
Yeah, because different equipment works better for other people. To where like I can use dowsing rods, but they don't always work for me because they kind of go crazy sometimes and this, that, and the other. But there's other people that I can watch that can do it perfectly. It's just
Yeah.
seamless, and for me, it's kind of like, well, that's not working out.
Yeah. I think
I've
it's up to
noticed
the individual.
it's the individual, but it's also the equipment is like sometimes it'll work in one area, but not in another. So it depends on the location as well.
Uh-huh.
That's true. That's true because I've done that before where I have used certain equipment that'll work at a lot of places, and then this one particular location it will not work.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to keep that in account. I guess just be like me, be poor, have a lot of equipment, and just bring it all and trade it out. I mean, what can you do? What can you do?
What can you do?
Right. So let's get talking with Kenny here. Now, we talked a little bit with you the last time that you were on, but let's just refresh everybody. Exactly. How did you get into drawing these encounters?
So I was always interested in Bigfoot, and because of that Leonard Nimoy show, In Search Of, that old show. So it's UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness, all the above, and so eventually, I used to just do a lot of sculptures and art and drawings and stuff like that. So naturally, you want to draw what you're interested in. So Bigfoot is one of the biggest mysteries for me. So, and then I went through since early 2000, I went through thousands of all the accounts on all the reports of Bigfoot. So I have in my mind all the faces of Bigfoot. So sometimes I just, like I said in the last show, I just combine them. Like I take this eye and I take this nose, and I'll make new Bigfoots. Unless it's someone's account, I won't draw it. I'll just make one up most of the time. So yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, what is the best experience or encounter that you've had so far? I know you're going to have more. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When I went kayaking last summer with a friend, it was between two creeks, and there was this little island in between. So all of a sudden, we were near this island. Something made me turn around. So I just turned around. I didn't have that feeling someone was watching me. I just turned around from instinct, right? And so there was these two huge bushes, and what happened was something jumped from crashed through one bush into the other bush, but I didn't see anything moving. Nothing was there. So it was something that was big, right? It crashed through two bushes, and then it was total silence after that. So it made me, at first I thought it was wind blowing, but it wasn't, because my friend said she saw something like a dark shadow moving from one side to the other, but I didn't see that. So I thought that was strange. You know how they always say sometimes Bigfoot moves so fast you can't see it.
Yes.
And when it reached the other bush, it was just total silence. There was no running away, no nothing, like a deer. You know how a deer just hops away? You can hear it hopping away. That was total silence. So that was really strange.
Yeah.
So maybe it went through a portal.
Maybe
Really
went through a portal.
Yeah.
It was so strange. It made me doubt myself. I thought it was strong wind blowing through the bushes, but it was literally something crashing through the bushes.
I think that's really common when folks have interactions with cryptids. They tend to second guess or question what they really saw. What did I really see that? Am I just making that up? Did I hallucinate? And I think that's very, very common.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even me knowing that there's Bigfoot around, I still second guess myself. Was that wind? It's so strange. Yeah.
Well, it was kind of like the night that we were together and we were out at that river.
Yeah,
and we were standing on those rocks, and we were looking across the river, and we saw something just stand up and then just exit fast.
I saw the eye shine part. Yeah, I didn't see the part standing up because I didn't look that way. But when I was shining my light, I saw it right after that. I saw the eye shine.
The eye shine.
It looked like it turned and it left or something. So
I mean, it was super crazy. And then we heard a rock crashing on another rock after that. Which was fantastic. Second guessing sometimes you sit and you think about it. The longer you sit and stew on what what you've seen, you're kind of it could have been something else. It could have been, anything, and you don't realize it's like, wow, you've had an encounter, and it takes you a long time to figure out, yes, I've had an encounter.
Yeah.
Another one was when I was driving back from Los Angeles to Missouri. I was stopping at the motel. I forgot which state. It was so long ago. It could either be Utah or Colorado or somewhere. And it was pitch black when I was unloading my bags from the car to the motel. I heard like footsteps stomping through like the creek next to the motel.
Mhm.
And then I heard almost like a really deep human voice just grunting. That was the strangest thing ever. Yeah.
Sounds like you have a lot of encounters by the water.
Yeah. It was like it was walking through, like it was almost like my mind, almost like it was like splashing water on itself, like kind of like but it was grunting and growling, but it sounded like a really deep human voice. Not pigs and not hogs, you know what I mean? So really strange stuff. Yeah.
Sounds like it may have been fishing and didn't catch one.
It was pissed off.
Not set out there.
Yeah.
Hate it when that happens.
I know.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do tonight is we are going to have Mary Lynn and Natalie, of course, tell an encounter story, and we're going to have Kenny draw these. And of course, he's called Momo Kenny because, of course, Missouri's the land of Momo.
Yeah. Not Moo Ken on the title.
I know. He put Moo Ken. I was like, did he change? Is there a new cryptid involving a cow? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening. We'll have to have her fix that, or I'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll fix it. No worries.
Kenny.
Yeah.
It's Momo
But
Kenny,
I do
everyone.
like that.
Yeah.
So are you gonna like change the direction of your camera?
Yeah.
And start your drawing, and then Natalie, Mary Lynn, who wants to go first?
I'll change it now. I'll pause it first.
Natalie, you want to go first, because my encounter is actually not with Bigfoot. Mine is an elemental.
Okay. Yep. Because I've always wanted to see if we could draw what I saw, or even, get a glimpse of what I saw, because it was just incredible. And it was out at the LBL. Okay. And I was the only one who saw this, of course. And if all the cameras were dead, the batteries were dead, everything was dead. And it was just after we had a massive encounter with some rakes and came down, and, I sprayed one with bear spray. So we were all had this heightened experience. So as everything's happening, my truck is sitting there and it's facing away from me. So the bed of the truck, the tailgate of the truck is facing me. I have a Santa Cruz, which is a smaller truck.
Okay.
And I kept seeing red orbs in front of my truck.
Wow.
And we were getting surrounded. We kept hearing things all over. They were screaming behind us. There was some sort of bipedal creature in the field screaming at us. And I looked to my left, and there was a massive Bigfoot that walked behind my truck and disappeared. And it was so massive. I could say the bottom of his butt cheek was at the top of my tailgate, the top of the bed of my truck.
That's big.
And it was just the muscle tone and the width, because he was sideways and his chest was just barreled. It was just muscle and it was mass. And I just remember looking at this thing going, I can't even believe what I'm seeing. And then it just disappeared. And I remember it so vividly because of it, the width of it just standing on or standing sideways was half the width of my truck.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, and it was walking behind my truck, didn't even make eye contact with me or anybody I was with, didn't even turn its head. But the features, you could tell that it was a brownish color. And the arms, the mass of the arms and the chest and just its glutes and everything were just of the biggest bodybuilder you have ever imagined.
Okay, so if you're okay, so we're talking at least like 8 feet.
Oh yeah.
At least 8 feet tall.
Yes. Yes.
Not taller, but about 8 feet tall.
Yes.
And you're talking about your view from it was sideways.
Correct.
Okay, so
so the view was sideways. It walked behind my truck, and now the back of the truck was facing me. It walked from right to left. So I saw its left side. As it walked, I noticed that the bottom of his butt cheek was at the top of my tailgate that was up, the bed of my truck. And I'm going, holy cow, that's huge. I mean, that's now, don't get me wrong. I don't have a big truck by no means, but still, this is a massive creature.
Yeah. What kind of truck was it?
It was a Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz?
A Hyundai Santa Cruz.
Okay.
And again, it's not a big truck. It's a small truck. But still, the fact that I know that the bottom, I'll never forget this. The bottom of his butt cheek was right at the top. And I'm going, holy cow.
Wow. At the top of the tailgate?
Yes. It like the bottom of his butt cheek went to the top of the tailgate.
Wow. Okay.
And
so my next question was, did it look at you or did you get to
no.
see did you see the side profile of it?
I saw the side profile.
Okay.
And it was just, and of course the shoulders were up high. There was like the neck, of course there was no neck. It was just head and like it went down into the shoulders. And the arms were just massive. And it's just walking, and the chest was half the width of my truck. And I'm going, this thing, and after it took me a minute just to realize like what I just saw, I'm like, these things could kill us at any moment, could take out all of us, and chooses not to.
Right.
That's the interesting part.
Did it make any noises or anything, or did you hear it walking?
Something drew me to that area, and I saw the red orbs, and then the red orbs disappeared. The Bigfoot walked right behind my truck and disappeared.
Oh, wow. So the red orbs came first?
How the hell does this massive thing disappear into thin air? I don't get it. And so I guess that's why I keep going out and keep investigating and keep trying to figure things out. But it was just so thick.
How long was this ago? Was this like before your LBL encounters of the portal opening when the creatures came out?
Right after, like within 10 minutes after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that portal with them opening up probably allowed him to come through. So you're seeing on the other side. Maybe.
So it was, I have no idea. I'm just like, because the portal was on the top of the hill. The crawlers came out. The crawlers were sitting there, doing their thing. And then that's when we came back down. And that's when I saw this thing. And I was just like, I was dumbfounded. And we had people that were sick. I mean, everything was happening like this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You said the 2 girls behind you were sick, right? You said?
Yeah, they were very sick. And they, then at that moment, a lot of folks were looking behind us because there was a bipedal creature in the field behind us that screamed like a woman.
Oh, wow.
And So Jim turned around to the field and said, I have something. I don't know what it is. Kristen came around with a therm and she goes, there is a large bipedal creature standing in the field watching us.
Oh,
And so there was, and we had movement all around us. That portal was still open at the top of the hill. The crawlers were still there moving back and forth. And so like we had our heads on a swivel in all directions because we did not know what was going to come at us.
yeah.
And I saw this thing walk behind the truck and I'm going, what? And then that's when everybody goes, my battery's dead. And then Greg goes, my battery died too. And then
That's when that happened. Okay.
everything started happening and like phones were malfunctioning and then the therms wouldn't record. And it was like everybody started having problems. And I'm going, oh my God.
Wow.
And so there were some people like, we have to stay. And then Greg goes, I'm calling it. It's a safety issue now. We've got to go. So this was really, I mean, just something I will never forget. It will be imprinted into my brain. And this thing was just, I know I keep saying this, it was just so massive. And it was like, I felt like we are so arrogant to think that we are the top people here and that we are so intelligent because we don't even know what's out there. And these things are so gracious, you know, to allow us to be here and just to say, okay, you know, I'm massive. These things could have, that one thing could have come in and wiped us all out within a minute.
Okay, so
And
I do have a couple questions. Did you get to see its facial profile?
No, I didn't. I did not get to see a face because I got to see this here. Thank you, Larry.
Got the profile.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay, so the head was down a little bit and it was walking, but I just remember going, oh my God. And I just, then that's when everybody was like, we're losing battery. We're losing this, we're losing that. And it was just chaos.
Yeah. I mean, could you see if it had like a more of a conical head, the head shape, or was it more like a human, like
no, I saw the back here, the crown of the head, I guess. And it was a little bit more elongated, like it coned up a little bit, not really prominent, but it coned up a little bit.
Was the face flat?
It had softer features. It wasn't flat. You could tell where there was like a nose and some features, but it wasn't prominent.
Okay.
It was not prominent.
There was nothing like a sloping forehead or
yeah, I
like
couldn't
that.
see that. I couldn't see that at all. It was just everything else I saw that was just like.
Yeah, because sometimes you get overwhelmed when you're having this encounter and the body is so massive that that's what your brain is focusing on.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like you go back and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have looked at its face a little longer or this, that, or the other. I mean, I did the same thing. It's just kind of like, could I have just looked at it just a little bit longer? You know,
and it was
on how huge.
Yeah, and it was one of those things like, did I just see what I just saw? Did I just see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and it took me a minute to like realize I just saw that because we were seeing so much and it was happening like this.
Yes.
Like.
So I can't keep thinking of, because me coming from the paranormal side and you're not hearing any sound, are you smelling anything? You're not.
No.
There's nothing there. So could he have been on the other side of maybe inside the realm and he wasn't even aware that you guys were there? He's just walking.
And that's what I had thought for a minute. Because
I wonder that too.
There was so much going on around us and we were hearing all movement around us in the bushes, in the trees. There was everything happening. This creature that walked behind, it was really like, I didn't hear it walk, but I saw it. And I'm like, if he disappeared that fast, was there a ripple? Was there was the veil thinned? You know what? I'm going to say it was thicker than that.
Yeah. It
Like
was
really like thick, like, but like,
Oh, thicker than this?
there it is. Just,
Wow.
yeah, it was. Imagine like a bodybuilder that works out every day and takes steroids and just is.
Yeah. Did it have a small in the back, or like from the butt up? Did it curve inward, or was it just straight up?
Inward. It curved inward, and
Okay.
it had some junk in his trunk, to say the least.
I had a
Get
badonka
ready to
butt.
say.
Yes, and
I
I
was getting
was
ready to say
thinking,
that. I mean,
he had some junk.
yeah, pure
So-
muscle, I'm sure. And I've talked about this a few times, but I mean, sometimes I don't know if we're dealing more of like portals, paranormal, the woo side of things, versus are we just talking something that could come natural to a Bigfoot, such as the disappearing, they're a walking ghillie suit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could they just like turn a certain way and just kind of blend in? Like you just lose track of it. Like you can't see it, especially at dusk or at night. I mean, if these things are disappearing, it could be just that. They're just blending in.
Right.
And
Almost like
And
the
how-
cloaking theory that they just cloak.
yes, but it's natural. It's
Mhm. Yeah.
like they just blend.
It's like, I'm sorry, go ahead, Marilyn.
I was gonna say, I kind of find that hard for me to believe, because if you have your eyes on it, how can it automatically just disappear and blend? Because you're still going to see some of that movement. So if it's cloaking itself, then you're not going to be able to, or if it's moved to the other, on the other side, you're not going to be able to see it go through the portal. But just to disappear, you're still, even like a deer, when you see the deer, and even if it gets still, you still see it, even though it's camouflaged.
Yeah. Valid.
Yes and no. Yes and no. It's hard to say. I mean, they've talked about the hair follicles that have been found, and they're more translucent. So we're dealing with something that could basically fade into something by just talking about the hair follicle. A deer's follicle is completely colored.
Solid. Yeah. So
Yeah,
in
to
other
where-
words, it's got a cloaking capability. Almost.
Almost. That's why I call it a walking ghillie suit. It could be right there in front of you, and you never see it.
Okay.
Same, it's the same. It's the same thing, but it's less woo, more natural. I mean, because my encounter, I had 2 of them. They were all natural. There was nothing that stated that they were anything paranormal or about it. I didn't sense any of that. Now there were other encounters that were kind of weird, I was gonna say. There's also another theory that I keep talking about, is because it's like when people are having these encounters, and they're not being seen through a thermal, they're not being seen with a drone, they're not being seen with this night vision out there, but you clearly have seen it with your eyes.
Yep.
So, I kind of think maybe they have control over how their body temp is. Maybe it can cool itself down or heat itself up, or which would also help it blend in certain circumstances.
That's kind of like what Keith is saying, like an octopus or a chameleon being able to change its colors.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to explain away, because like I said, I've had other encounters that I've seen the red orb, and had a lot of things happen that were crazy, and they were nothing natural. Okay, I'm just gonna say that they were nothing that science could explain to me. Okay, just nothing. But I feel like there are some capabilities to keep these things naturally hidden. Like
Mhm.
there's a spider, and I can't remember where it is at. I think it's in the rainforest, but it can wrap itself around a branch. You can walk right past it and never
Yep.
see. And this thing is hideous, everyone.
Mhm.
Well,
It's
that's like
Yes, it
hideous.
snakes.
is.
They can do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I know Greg had mentioned in the chat, and so did Brian Bowden, that, we saw crawlers
Yeah.
right before this happened. And so he would like to, can late, if not today, maybe another time we can get you to draw the crawler.
I would love to draw the crawlers. Yep.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
If
go ahead and do the crawlers today because mine is really simple. I don't have that
Yeah.
big of a story.
We'll do them all if we have
well,
time.
if
I'm really
if Greg
curious
is,
about the crawlers.
right, if Greg is out there, come on and pop on. Natalie just sent him a link,
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and pop on, and then you can tell your story. But I'm really curious about what Mary Lynn's encounter was like. I mean, because this is something in fairy tales that that people say. They're like, oh, that can't be real. Like, every time we talk about anything fae, they're like, oh, that's just fairy tales. That doesn't exist, but they do.
They do.
Yeah.
How would you define elemental for people that don't know what elemental is?
So the elementals are, for me, just kind of the overseers of the land and buildings, and they're just kind of a nature for protection. It's almost like the Native Americans have the skinwalkers and all that. It's just somebody or just something that is there to protect the land. And
Okay, guardian.
yes, it's a guardian.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that the fae most generally are not nice. they're kind of mean.
Well, just because they're the guardian doesn't mean they're nice.
Right, it's kind of like if Bigfoot was the guardian of the wilderness. I mean, I would go up. I would rather run into Bigfoot than anything of the fae.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I'll talk about it in a minute after he finishes his drawing. But yeah, that looks good.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. You have captured it so well.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
What time was it when you saw this guy?
I'm sorry, what?
What time was it when you saw this guy?
It was before midnight.
Oh wow.
Okay, so it was completely nighttime.
But it was the day before a full moon.
Okay, so it's
So
kind
the
of lit
moon
up.
had everything illuminated. We didn't even need flashlights.
So you were in a
wow.
waxing gibbous, so you had a lot of light.
A lot of light. And there were no clouds, nothing.
That's what I had on that second encounter that I had after it rained and the sky just kind of cleared up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you look out and then you just see this, this moon, and it was in the waxing gibbous mode where it's on that 3/4 mode. And you're like, God bless, that's bright.
It is.
Wow.
It was so bright. And we went out the next day during the full moon and didn't need flashlights either. It was just,
Time.
it was almost so bright. That
it sounds like it's kind of a common theme is with it being near the full moon, because mine was actually near the full moon as well.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but mine it was raining and thunderstorms and all kinds of stuff, but I could still see it.
Well, yeah, and like you said, with my encounter, we had the storm first, then it cleared up, and then that it was there. So it still was related to the storm and then the moon.
Yep.
I'm just saying there's similarities there. We need to perhaps look into something like that.
I just got. They're seeing it.
Oh, they're seeing it.
They're seeing it.
Wow.
I know, but this is really super cool, though. I mean, look
That's
at that.
what I saw. Is
that your car?
Spot on. Well, yeah, that is my vehicle.
The thing is, I'm not sure what's going on with the camera. I'm drawing, it's walking from left to right, but the camera is mirrored. Somehow it's making it go
okay.
left to right to left. So
That's
left
all
to
right.
right,
We
right to
get it.
left.
It's
But
still,
that's
yeah.
how big that thing was. I mean, can you imagine?
yeah, that's
I
crazy.
mean, I'm standing there like, what? And it never got to the other end of my truck. That's how fast it disappeared.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
See, the
that's
interesting thing you say, it didn't pay attention to you, right? Like, I wonder to know, like, if it even sees you, or is this in its own realm, or what? Like, what's going on there?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Very interesting. Yeah.
It's probably like, oh, I shouldn't be here. Let me exit real quick
like-
because they see me.
This is not the Bigfoot you're looking for.
Well,
Did a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
well, it's kind of like it's almost like they had gotten too close, and then they're like, oh crap, they can see
Yep.
me, and it's like then they were leaving at
Mhm.
that time. Which that's kind of cool, though. I mean, it was just curious, interested into seeing what you were seeing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I'm wondering also if it was drawn to you due to the fact of seeing this portal thing and these crawler things or whatever. And it
Yeah.
was like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah,
You
like
know.
I'm here.
Yeah, let
And,
me
you
know if you're
know,
okay.
We're good. And it wasn't threatening, nothing. I didn't feel threatened at all by this. The crawlers, totally different story, but this, no,
Yeah,
not at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And they were all very much working together because the creature in the field behind us was screaming to get our attention, to lure us our vision over there. And I think so he can walk by or do something, and I just happened to catch it.
It's like it was like he was checking you out, and then all of a sudden you saw it, and it was like, oh well, I better exit.
Like, oh crap! But that's spot on.
Wow.
Spot on. Can you imagine seeing that?
That's like 8 or 9 foot tall. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, holy
Scary.
crap. He could have flipped my truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been like, I just need it out of here. And
Right.
he didn't.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, this whole Patterson Gimlin problem film. Everybody, I don't care. I don't care what everybody says. If it's
It
fake,
is what it
real,
is.
I don't care. The thing is that these things do exist.
They do.
And I this is proof. She's seen one. I've seen one. It's there. We've seen them. We know. So it doesn't matter if the film is real or not.
Yeah. I don't.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me because I think it is really super cool. I don't know how they could hoax that, but whatever.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Right.
They didn't have the costumes and the types of materials.
Yeah, because we've already talked about at the time Planet of the Apes was out right there, and we saw that they had hands and heads, but yet their body were enclosed and they were regular human bodies,
and their mouths wouldn't even open.
Their mouth
far.
wouldn't move, and you've seen their eyes come down, and I mean that was it for their moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how they could make that so flawless, for it to stand the test of time, even though it has taken many hits through the years. This is not the first time that somebody has had something negative to say about the film, and I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. And I mean, I think there's enough evidence to show that, they overanalyzed that whole film to show that there was muscle tone, that there was, if there was movement in a certain way, that material would have bunched and it didn't. So I think maybe it's just a bunch of hype. Maybe it's just a publicity stunt. I don't know.
Maybe somebody's disgruntled.
Yeah, it could be somebody's disgruntled and they're going to cause them a ruckus, which they sure have, because, our entire community is talking about it, and then some.
Well,
But
we
look
always
at
talk
that.
about the infighting anyway in the Bigfoot community. I mean,
Mhm.
it's no different than the paranormal community. Trust me, it's the
Right.
same
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a lot of fighting, more fighting within the Bigfoot community.
Mhm.
Of because there's two different camps there, and I'm just wondering if you know if anybody's really going to believe what's happening. My personal opinion is I don't care.
Yeah. And there's my boss
That's
man.
mine. I don't care. Well,
Hey,
hey
Greg.
there, Mr. Moist.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Greg.
How are you doing this fine evening, sir?
Doing well. How are you, ladies?
Doing
Oh,
good.
we're doing good. We're just we're testing out Kenny's drawing abilities, and he's doing fantastic.
My
It
God,
looks
yes.
like that. Looks like he's doing really well.
Yeah.
How are the scratches, Greg? I still remember. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I was
scratches.
at the Ray County Museum, and
Oh,
Ray and Greg came down and he pulled up his shirt and showed me the scratches. Remember that?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Scratches are fine. Sometimes when we're dealing in the paranormal world, we interpret some actions from our point of view, and sometimes I think we misinterpret what could be actually really going on. So I was scratched, but I really think it was just saying, "Hey, come back," or "I'm here," or something like
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
I really think that's all it was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's-
I mean, sometimes that does happen, right, Marilyn?
It does. And because they're just trying to get your attention, and that's the only way they can get you, and they're trying to grab you, and they just end up scratching.
Yeah,
Krista.
it was some significant scratches. I
Krista.
mean,
Hey, Krista. Well, I
Hi,
don't know if
Krista.
that's better than flicking somebody in the forehead. I mean, leave a lump on the forehead. I mean,
hey, Krista.
I
Or
mean,
pushing you
definitely
down the
know then what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
That's how I get
don't
Greg's
know.
attention, by flicking him in the forehead with a rock.
Right.
That's a term of endearment.
It is.
Yes,
It is.
yes, she does. And when we're in large crowds, I have to take like one of those long sticks with a little triangular flag on it and strap to her back so we can figure out where she is.
Right.
Keep up with her.
There you go. Okay,
Are you saying
so
I'm short?
all right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on. If it's okay with you, Kenny, we're gonna move on to Greg's story. And
Sure.
this was about the rake, right? That we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yes, the rake.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to that. Kenny's excited about this one. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, ever since I heard about that.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
Well,
I don't think Kenny can see chat very well, you guys. He's busy drawing and he has to look to the side to see anything. So if you have any questions, just put them in all capitals. And we ladies will grab it and put it up there and we'll ask him for you.
Yeah. If you would ask, it'd be great. Because I have my laptop off the side. I gotta look off to the side to read the chats. I can see
Yeah,
them from time to time, though.
That's okay. You focus on drawing and then we can let you know.
Yep.
Okay. Well, just to set up the scene, it was a group of girls out, and I was filming I say girls, but ladies.
That's
and when we went out, we were.
Hey, Greg. Greg,
Yes.
not to stop you, but there is a quick question, real quick. It says, where can I get the
I got it.
relatives?
I'm putting it out
Okay.
there. Is it?
Okay.
It's your Patreon, isn't it?
The what?
It's your Patreon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
You're-
somebody asked when the LBL film is out. There's two films. There's the first one, which is out. Where can they find that, Greg?
It's in transition from Patreon to Amazon. So
And
it's in transition right now.
I just shared the Patreon link in chat.
Okay. Yeah, you still might be able to get it there, but I'm transitioning it over to Amazon, Tubi, and all of the rest of them.
Let me see if I
Okay,
can find it
so-
on Amazon.
The first
not
one
on
is
Amazon
definitely on
yet.
Tubi, right? The first
It's
one.
not on Tubi. The first one, The Legend of the Downy Booger, is
Yes.
on Tubi, Roku, and
Yeah.
a lot of the other, almost all the other streaming platforms.
Mhm.
The Vanished has just been fast tracked to be uh, streaming on Amazon and Tubi and all of the rest of them. And The Land Between the Lakes is also in submission to be put on Amazon, all the streaming platforms. So it's all in transition right now. Most of our films. But yeah, I think you still might be able to see The Land Between the Lakes on my Patreon page. So I mean, it still might be there. I'm not sure. I haven't went to there lately, so you can go there and check it out. But I do know that it has been submitted for distribution,
Awesome.
and it's just in process, and it takes a while for that.
Mhm.
It says it is available on your Patreon right now.
Okay, well, if it is, then you can go there and watch it. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
you know, it's not it won't be free. It'll be a charge there.
I think it says
on Patreon.
$14
Yeah,
on Patreon.
there'll be a charge there on the Patreon. But
Yeah.
you know, once it gets to Amazon and all them, you know, like on Tubi, you know, you can watch it free with ads on Tubi. So,
Okay.
So quick note, if you're talking about the LBL film of where I saw this Bigfoot and then we're talking about the rakes, that has not been released yet. So
it is not the second LBL film. It's titled Return to the Land Between the Lakes, Making Contact. And once you see the film, you'll see why it's subtitled Making Contact. And that's one of the reasons why we were doing multiple experiments when we went into the LBL. We went in once with the ladies, and they were very passive, and we had some activity, but it was not much. However, we went in again, and they were very aggressive, and I think that aggression really turned things up several notches. So, and I'm sitting there filming the ladies, right? You know, they're seeing lots of things. Like there was a portal that was seen, and these crawlers came out of that portal. Now, I did not see the portal, nor did I see the things crawl out of the portal, obviously. But I mean, I was busy looking into the display screen of the camera, right? So my night vision's shot. It really is. You know, I'm only looking around, and I can't see very, very far, you know, from me, you know, because my night vision's shot. But anyway, right after I had asked ladies, I wanted to interject for a minute, and you know, like I did this roar, this real aggressive growl while I was there, right? And I think you know, I don't know if it was in response to that or what, but it was a few minutes later. I was still filming the ladies, and I just happened to turn my head and look up to where Natalie had seen the portal and these things crawl out of it, right? Well, you know, keep in mind that you know Natalie keeps saying these things are kind of like doing like this, and they're just, you know, just doing these eerie moves. And so I turned and I look up toward that direction, and this thing is, I just happened to catch it. It was charging seemingly straight for me. And
wow,
what I saw was kind of like you know, its head was kind of it's on all fours, right? Head was kind of up, and it's hard to describe. It was like looking toward us, right? And these the arms was real gangly and spindly like, but real thin. I can't say that the creature itself was huge. It was probably, it was person size, but it wasn't 10 or 12 feet tall or anything like that. It was just like person size. I can't make a determination on the color of it because personally my night vision was shot. I just saw this thing coming at it as it's crawling. Well, I say it's crawling. It's more doing of a gallop crawl. It's kind of galloping as it's crawling toward us, right? And it was really shocking just from the sight of it because I'd never seen anything like that before. And I made a little exclamation, and I'm right-handed, so I had the camera in my right hand, and I make a transition from the right hand to the left hand with the camera, and pull out my pew. And it's the first time I've ever had to pull out a pew while I'm out investigating ever. And apparently Natalie sees this thing coming at us, and she nails it with bear spray. And after that, I kind of turned my head or something. Anyway, I lost track of the crawler. I don't know what happened to it after the bear spray. But I do know that the bear spray lingers around, and it's no joke. We had to kind of pull back. So, trying to describe this thing, it had a core, and these arms and legs were real spindly looking, and this head kind of comes out. The neck kind of goes straight up, but with the head kind of looking straight at where we were, sort of. And I've had to kind of go back and just.
What did the portal look like?
You want me to describe it?
Well, I didn't see it, so.
Yeah, so the portal was in an oval shape, and it was a bluish white with fairy lights all around it.
Oh, wow. And how many of the crawlers? You said 3 or 4 of them, or 3 of them? 3 of them came out.
They all 3 were very, very skinny. They had long, lanky arms and legs. The torso was very, very skinny, like very skinny. There was absolutely no hair, no fur. Its head, to Greg's point, it was almost like it was like sitting back.
Yeah.
Like
back.
And they were just.
Yeah.
Did they all 3 fit in the thing itself, the portal?
I'm sorry, what?
Did all 3 of them fit in the portal, or did they come out one by one behind each other?
They came out one by one.
Okay. And you're saying that the neck placement is not really like a human's neck placement? Is it like further back?
I don't know if it's further back, but I just want to say that the head, as it was charging, it was almost like a crawling gallop.
Oh.
When it was coming at us, and it was just like these. It was just lanky.
Okay.
And go ahead. No, go ahead.
The neck. Okay. If the body was parallel to the ground, the neck was 90 degrees to that, with the head kind of looking where it's going. Right.
Yeah. So you had to look up. Yeah.
So it was like the range, like ours. Yeah. It was creepy.
It was very freaky.
Oh.
So 90 degrees. And it's literally like a human shape. But what did the head look like?
So the head was very rounded, like on the top. Okay. I did not see any ears, not saying it didn't have any.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see any, but it was just very rounded, and it came into like it wasn't completely round, just the top of its head, and it
Uh-huh.
came down like a jaw, like kind of like mine, but it came a little further down, and you could see like the lankiness. Just their arms were super long, their legs were super long, and there was no real muscle tone. It was just
Interesting.
lanky.
Were the fingers like kind of long too?
Yes, the fingers were long too. The hands were long.
The hands were a
You
little
know,
bigger. A little bigger. They were abnormally sized for the arm, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Real skinny arms, and then
Yeah,
The hands were bigger than a normal person's hands.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah, they didn't have net hands. They had like
no, it wasn't net
no.
hands. It was hands. And
Just
hands.
oof.
Wow.
I know it's just freaking me out as I'm trying to like ask questions about what it looked like. I'm like,
I know,
ew.
it's like scary, right?
I know. So it didn't have like fingernails. It had just like regular.
I couldn't
Fingers.
tell that.
Okay, they're just
I couldn't tell
elongated fingers and a bigger type palm.
Yeah. And it was just like it was just so creepy because the way that they were moving was so unnatural. And it's not like I can even
Shape of the
compare
head.
it to something.
Spot on.
So can you tell what color it was?
So I can tell you from where it was in the distance, it looked black only because the way the moonlight was hitting and the way everything was shadowing. All three of them looked completely black up at the top of the hill.
Wow.
As that one charged, you could tell as it got closer, it was not black. It was like a grayish.
It was a dark gray, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very dark gray. It wasn't black. It was more like a dark gray.
Yeah.
But that's consistent with what I remember. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Ugh.
Okay, so needless to say that when you hit it with bear spray, it reacted.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, to be honest, if we could go back a little further, I'm seeing these things up at the top of the hill. I'm saying we've got 3 crawlers at my 12 o'clock, and they're all moving back and forth. Not consistently, like each one of them were moving independently. And so I asked Amy, are you getting anything on the therm? She goes, I have nothing on the therm up there. Absolutely nothing. Kristen looked as well. She couldn't get anything on the therm. So these things did not have a heat signature.
Oh, wow.
Which was,
That is
it made it
scary.
even creepier.
Yeah.
So then I just kept watching these things and I'm like, does anybody know? I mean, and I'm saying, does everybody see that? And they're like, what is that? Like, it's just so weird. And I'm like, I don't know. And I know earlier in the week when we went there, where we had an investigation, and to Greg's point, we went in very kindly, very, homey, just singing songs, whatever. Right before all of that happened, Martin Groves walked up, looked into the forest, goes, I see a crawler. There's a crawler moving through the forest. We didn't see it, but he did. And I'm going, oh boy, here we go. And then nothing. Absolutely
Can you
nothing. We
tell
calmed the beast.
if the body was longer than what like a human, or
It was a little longer. What are we looking at?
Oh, I had found this on the internet, and it was very close to what I remember seeing. I wish I could loop it, but I can't.
It's hard to see because
Yeah,
it's
it's really hard to
glare
see. We're
from
getting a
it.
glare.
Is the arm long like that or longer?
Can you send it to me through Messenger and I can put it up?
They're
okay, I'll do
longer,
that.
and
I'll do that.
where
Longer
the
than that?
elbow is, it's like
Yeah,
it's
it was
really
longer.
long,
Yeah,
and
the
there's
distance
elbow,
between the shoulder and elbow
a
is
knobby
much longer.
elbow,
Knobby elbow?
a knobby elbow, and then a skinny arm down to the wrist,
Okay.
and then like the hands, and you could tell that, I mean, the fingers and the hands were like long, like.
So when you saw this one and the other one, was it stationary, or was it actually in movement, walking?
They were all of them were in movement. 2 were staying in the same place while 1 decided to get brave and charge.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so my next question is the 2 that decided to stay,
Mm-hmm.
were they not moving, or did they have a constant movement even though
They had a constant movement on all 4s, but they were hunched over and they were moving like this.
No.
And their heads were up.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
wow.
Even the crawling movement was.
It was like.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just, it was
With a
so
galloping.
unnatural.
Wow. Did you see the eyes and the mouth and everything? Can you see through that?
I couldn't see it because the way the moonlight was hitting,
Yeah.
I couldn't see a face at all. Not saying they didn't have one. I just couldn't see it because the moonlight was hitting a certain way.
I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't have one.
At that point, I wouldn't be surprised if anything. I mean,
Right.
Santa Claus would show up and I'd be like, okay.
When it was crawling, was it doing a crawl like a human, where then the back of the legs, the knees are on the ground, or was it more like a spider crawl that Bigfoot does?
No, the knees were not on the ground.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was haunched up, and it was feet and arms, and just it was not on its knees.
So was the body level, or was it kind of at an angle where you can see the hips and then the legs and the back?
So the back was hunched.
Okay.
The knees were bent, but the feet were on the ground.
Hey, Greg, I can't get that to. I seen what it is, but I can't pause it enough to screenshot it to put a picture up.
Oh.
So on your phone, do a screenshot of your phone and then send that picture.
It's quick. I can't catch it.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Is it possible to share a screen? Just look at it. We can try that. I mean,
Hold on, I can do that.
Yeah. And
will we get dinged for putting up somebody else's video?
Do we know where it came from?
YouTube.
Do we know a name? Channel?
Dark Moose Man.
Dark Moose Man. Okay, we're gonna play yours, Dark Moose Man, just in reference to show what we've seen. So
yeah,
we're not stealing content. We're comparing.
Mm-hmm.
We're comparing here.
It's up under fair use.
Okay, let me add my screen. Share screen.
Oh, he's getting it.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see. I mean, if this thing is close to what you had seen, I mean, this thing is already creeping me out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
Oh.
There it is.
One night, he finally found it. From unknown sources, a man recorded a haunting video where he's awoken in the middle of the night to strange sounds coming from his yard. As he turned, he kept hearing something in his yard. Then one night, he finally...
There it is.
There it is.
Yep, right there it is.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh,
That's
geez.
it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
There,
I mean, that's
you know what?
very much like what it looked like. I'm not
Okay,
saying that
so-
that's real. I'm just saying that's what it looked like.
But lankier.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
is another video that I had seen out there, and we had it on Truth or Tinfoil, and it's this guy, and he's literally calling his pastor on the phone because he thinks that this is something demonic in his backyard, and we're literally watching this thing move. And it reminds me of that. Now, it didn't have the same movements, but it kind of looked like that. It's gosh, I wish I could remember it because we had the whole dang video. But it was absolutely insane, scary. I'm just saying. Yes.
Yep.
There you go, Kenny. Can you see that?
Oh wow. So there has to be a reason for it to crawl instead of walk upright. Have you ever seen them walk upright? Or it's always hunched over?
So there have been reports of them walking upright, but it appears that when they are threatened, they go down like this.
I see. Okay.
Now, that is just what people have seen. I don't know that for a fact.
So when you saw the portal, could you see anything behind them?
No. It was a really pretty bluish white. I mean, it was gorgeous.
Okay.
And it was so pretty. It was bluish white and had all the fairy lights around it, just sparkling. It looked like glitter. And, but then here they come, one by one.
It's almost like it's deceiving, you know.
Mary Lynn.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were having breakfast at the place in Richmond, and you said you saw the portal open at Ray County Museum?
Yes.
Was that would that be similar to what they're describing, that kind of portal, or is that different type of portal?
It's the same type, but for me, I saw it just a little bit differently because for me, if you look out over a road that's hot and you see that kind of the
waviness,
that's how I see the portal. But once it opens, that's where I've actually seen through to the other side.
Oh,
interesting. So yeah, it could be interesting.
Okay, Natalie, did your portal, the one you saw, did it have the wavy qualities to that too, or no?
Not to my knowledge, but it was up on the hill.
Okay.
And it was just, there was like a tree, and then here's the portal. So there was like some depth in there. So I didn't see anything else.
Okay.
I've seen a portal at the LBL too, and it was the time when you were there, Brandy. But this one was much like a window. You know, it was had sharp corners on it. But speaking of that, I've just gotten some footage from somebody that I know, and they've got footage what really looks like a portal, and it's got the 90-degree corners on it, and they've got clear footage of it, and they've got, and it looks like this, that some sort of light or something that's circling the boundary of the portal. It's really fascinating, it'll be in one of the upcoming films.
Cool.
So in one of the buildings that I had investigated, I did see one that was like a doorway because it was in the hallway, so it was square. And for me, it also kind of had a glowing lights behind it, but it didn't have the fairy light. So that one, I still saw the little squiggly lines and all that, but it was just the lights behind it. So I think in different areas, they're just different types of portals.
Yeah. And I've seen something similar to what Natalie had described. I didn't know what it was at the time. I don't want to say that it was a portal, but in retrospect, it looked a lot like what Natalie had seen. And the orbs were coming out of it. The little balls of light, they were coming out of it.
Did you get a sense that it was like a manufactured portal, or was that like more like a supernatural portal?
You know, I don't know, but I will say it's the incident where Janice Nolan and I had missing time. We were there for 5 hours, but what seemed from our perspective was like 45 minutes, something like that. But it was well over 5 hours. So that I can say happened. So I don't know if it was manufactured or if it was a natural phenomena. I can't say that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like these things are almost designed to pique our curiosity. Like it's saying, come on, you know, come on through, see what's happening in here. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Come
Come on.
Yeah.
Join the creepers.
Yeah, join the creepers. You know, they're fine.
Yeah,
But
you know,
go ahead.
You too can crawl. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not me.
We can do it.
Yeah,
you
it was
couldn't tell it goes
reminiscent of almost
4
like the
feet
1930s cartoons. You know,
Yeah.
the crawler. You know how the 1930s cartoons had they
Yes.
didn't really have joints in their arms. Their arms just kind
Right.
of moved. in
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was all
That's kind of
floppy.
what it looked like.
Oh
You know,
wow.
the limbs was just moving in waves. You know, coming, just galloping sort of at us. You know, but anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, it was just very startling to me. But you know, in all of my journeys now, you know, we've picked up some really strange things, even since Natalie's been with us and investigating. And
I'm one of the strange things.
yeah, she's one of the strange things. But I'm really coming to the conclusion that not only Bigfoot can transform themselves into like this energy form, the orbs, but I think multiple entities have that ability, and that's how they traverse from their dimension to ours when they come through these portals. I don't think it's good for organic material to come through these portals, which makes me think that maybe the rakes are not necessarily organic. Are they silicon or something like that? Silicon based.
It could be something within their chemistry
Well,
that
right,
allows
that
them to
allows them
withstand
to
it.
do it safely, whereas
Yeah.
like I don't think a Bigfoot would, because you know Bob Wilson, the late Bob Wilson, you know, he had actually walked into one of these portals. He's no longer with us, along with the other gentleman that walked in with him, and two other ones that were also associated with this one portal and the Metal Project. You know, they have some serious health issues now.
Yeah.
So, but also speaking of Bob Wilson, there were two individuals that said to me that they had witnessed Bob Wilson turning into an orb. He had
Oh, I heard that.
turned into an orb, and he traversed several hundred yards, and then poof, he's back in physical form. Well, there was two witnesses who saw him do that, but from Bob's perspective, from his perspective, nothing like that happened. He's like, no, I just walked right through the woods and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he did it in like several seconds, just a few seconds, right? But what I'm trying to say is that I really think there's multiple realities happening at the same time.
Interesting.
Okay. With some of these situations. So from his perspective, he didn't turn into an orb, but from their perspective, yes, he did. So
He just walked through a time warp.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess sometimes truth is definitely in the eyes of the beholder, you know, along with beauty, but truth is, you know, from your perspective.
Right.
And I think it's possible to have two truths that are opposite of each other.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just that there's dual realities happening at the same time.
Yep.
That's where Mike and I kind of had that conversation several times. It's, you know, it could be more than, what if there's hundreds of realities that's going on? So are we able to access those at one point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I went from a straight aper to saying, hey, there's a whole lot more to this, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I actually really think like ghosts and all these other paranormal stuff is related to the same phenomena somehow. I don't know how, but I think that they are, because like, for instance, there was one time we were out orb watching. I love to go orb watching. It's fascinating. But the first and only time I've seen a full-bodied apparition happened when we did that. This Indian on a horse appeared, and it rode across the field and went to the edge of the woods, disappeared. Well, my paradigm kind of shifted then, because you know, at the time I didn't believe in ghosts. I saw one then with my own eyes. And our buddy Brent, he didn't see it, so we was going to test its opacity to see if it was, how solid it was. So we sent him over there where the ghost was. Hey, Brent, walk over there. We're going to check out something. He's like, what? Why? Why am I over here? And then we told him, whoa, that's where we saw a ghost. And he was like, what? So we sent him over there for the guinea pig. But anyway, I digress. So I really think that they're all related somehow. I don't know how yet, but I do think that they're all related.
I mean, Greg, that's where I think you and I are the same. It's just that's what I'm trying to put together is how do they connect? Mm-hmm. Somehow they do, and I'm just not sure how yet.
Well, it's actually a fascinating time to be alive because our technology is catching up with our abilities to be able to capture some of these things. And I think too, maybe the veil is changing a little bit as well. So I think some of this is happening more than it used to. But at the same time, I don't know if maybe it comes in cycles or something. I don't know, because if you look back at some of the old ancient legends and writings and all of that, you'll definitely see, or they definitely saw some of the same things that we're seeing right now. But I think now we've got the technology to maybe start capturing some of this, and at some point we're going to be able to connect those dots at some point. And I think then we might be able to join a greater universe. Once we connect those dots.
Well, see, that's where I think the veil is thinning. That's why we're able to see more, but people are becoming more aware of it. So they're looking into it, and they're learning how to see that and just actually paying attention. So I think that's why it's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah, and two, this is another phenomenon that I've seen happen. When we started seeing the orbs, my buddy Brent, he never was able to see these things. Never. Not with his own eyes. He could see them in the camera, but he couldn't see them with his eyes. And I don't know why. And proof of that is in our latest film, The Vanished. The weekend that we were at the LBL with you, Brandy, on our last night there, we went there and we filmed some orbs, and we caught them all on camera. But you could hear Brent off camera. He's off camera. He can't see them.
No,
he can't see them with his eyes. But yeah, Adam Davis, me, and Carol, Janice Nolan, we all three could see them, but he could not. He could see it through the camera, but he couldn't see it with his eyes. So again, I think that your personal vibration has a lot to do with your ability to be able to see these things.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well,
I guess that comes down to like having that third eye open type of thing. Mm-hmm. Once you open that, you really can't just say close. You just can't.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
You can kind of say not right now,
right?
But you can't close it.
You can't close it. Well,
you can't unsee it.
Stop using it, but it's always going to be there.
Right. You can't unsee it.
Right.
Some things you wish you can, like this critter you got going on over here.
I know. Kenny, you did a fantastic job.
Thanks.
But I tell you, that right there is very similar to what we saw.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I can't say how many fingers it had or anything like that. I can't pull up those kind of details. But that's almost hard to look at for me.
Yeah, I'd be more focused on the face where it's looking, if it's looking at you or what.
It almost has, like what you drew is almost like a spider-like thing. And if we put movement to it, that would just make it creepy.
Creepy. Very creepy.
I got your video, Brian. Thank you. He just sent me a video of a crawler.
Oh, cool.
Greg, if I can run across that now, Randy Gilbert has that video somewhere of that thing in the backyard, and this guy is literally talking on the phone. And he's unfortunately, but he's filming it through a screen because he's looking at it through the window. And you will be amazed what this thing does. You have to really focus in and look at it. I had to really darken my room to watch it, to be able to see everything that happened, but it was absolutely crazy. So I'll see if I can get him to send you that so you can look at that too, because that'll freak you out.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Well, but listening to the guy talk to his pastor, and they're praying on the phone. They're doing all the stuff on the phone, And it was just a scary video, just super scary. If anybody runs across that, watch it. Make sure the lights are dim, or you're in a darkened room, because it is a very dark video. And but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, the only time I've ever seen one was when this thing was charging at me. That's the only glimpse I've ever gotten. I didn't get the glimpse of, it up there coming out of the. I didn't get any of that because, like I say, I'm busy filming the ladies, and my eyes is, kind of dimmed by this tiny little, very, very bright display screen. And I happened to look up, and unfortunately, with the lack of night vision and my natural night vision, I didn't get like very good details of what this thing looked like. All I just know, it was very creepy, very creepy. And what he drew was probably about as close to a description as I could get of it.
Yeah.
That's so. My
really
question
good.
is, are you going to go out and try to see it again? Are you going to try to look for it again?
Ooh, yeah.
And so would you also, what was the size? Was it like really tall, or?
It was not, it was probably like regular human size, not overly massive, not girthy like that, the Bigfoot that I saw and Ken drew brilliantly. But this was, just lanky and creepy and gross.
So you go from that to the Bigfoot.
Gross.
It was gross.
And I will say, Natalie's bear spray saved it from having 17 10mm size holes in it.
Exactly. Because I was like, I don't know what's going to stop this thing. And if my bear spray doesn't, he's got a gun.
Right.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said
there's a lot of debate on rakes, and if they're, of course, of the physical world or if they're of the spiritual world. And a lot of people are leaning towards the spiritual side because of folklore and what have you. But you spraying it and it reacted is telling us something different.
Correct. Which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if it was going to work or not. And I was just like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We have backup pew-pews. So it worked. And I'm going, okay, no heat signature. This thing's coming out of a portal, but bear spray works.
Super freaky.
That creates
my
more
thing would have been,
questions.
if the bear spray didn't work, I'd have said, well, we're done. We're just done. Because I mean, what's a pew-pew going to do if it's not affected by that,
Right. And my only thought is I had Melissa and Jamie behind me very, very sick while this was happening. And I'm like, if this thing gets past us, I'm done. They're done. We're all done.
Right.
So when you sprayed it, did it make any sound, or did it just turn and go?
It just retreated, and then we had to retreat.
Okay, because I'm wondering if maybe when you sprayed it, it just startled it, so it made it run away.
And that could have been.
Maybe the sound of the spray or anything like that could have startled it.
Yeah, it could have been. And also, there are
some animals or things charge just to say, hey, I'm here, and then They're really
Like,
itchy.
Oh, hey, you got something.
you know, it was noisy because I mean, bear spray makes a lot of noise.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, Martin Groves had said that others had witnessed these rakes, these crawlers, and some of them were up in trees making clicking noises. So,
Oh,
I mean, for me personally, I would like to go back out and learn more. I will have my bear spray with me, and I will not be alone.
Yeah, you know, and going back to misinterpretations of intent, you know, we had an encounter at the exact same spot in 2024. Of course, you know, when you guys were there, Krista, and so again, I think then, you know, if it had wanted to, that one Bigfoot could have just torn us to pieces if it had wanted to.
right.
However, that, you know, come to find out there were multiple Bigfoot there. There was multiple ones. Okay, well, if it was their intent to harm us, they could have done it. Obviously, they could have done it. So I think then, just as it was their intent this last time at the exact same spot with the crawlers, I think because that time the girls and all came in so aggressive, I think their intent was just to establish dominance and then leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they said, no, you're not boss here, we're boss here. And then once they established that they were boss there, and you know, they didn't leave by any means, but there was no more charging or anything like that. But they did surround us, you know, because there was orbs, you know, on the roadway in front of us, behind us, and you know, like in the wood lines. So there was these orbs that was there, and I attribute these orbs as these things or whatever things in energy form. So they essentially had us surrounded. But I do think that it's just all, you know, their intent is not what we might think it might be.
Yeah.
Their intent then was just, I think, just to establish dominance, and that's it.
Yep.
Well, this was awesome.
It is. And I'm sorry, I was just replying to somebody. So I mean, we've learned some fascinating things. It just raises more questions, as it always does, that we're not really sure of what we're dealing with out there. And that's why we all do what we do. And that's why Greg's out there and Natalie's out there, Mary Lynn's out there, I'm out there, you know, Momo Kenny's out there. We're all trying to figure out what else can this thing give us, which is a lot, because we know absolutely nothing. I'm just saying, we know nothing. All right. So thank you, Kenny, for showing up and drawing those for us tonight.
Yeah,
that was
no problem.
Absolutely fantastic. If anybody wanted to look at your drawings or anything that you've done, where can they find you?
Right now, I'm just going to put my stuff on my YouTube channel. Nothing else. Just that for now.
And now, is that called Momo Kenny?
Yep. Momo Ken.
Momo Ken. You can find everything there at Momo Ken. You can find his drawings and things like that. And of course, you know where to find Greg Googles. You can find him everywhere. But tell us again, Greg, where are you at?
RelicFilmsMedia.com, and on YouTube, Relic Films Media. Facebook, same thing, Relic Films Media.
Same thing.
Yep.
I mean, we have Natalie tell us all the time, but since you're here, we'll have you do it this time. And that's the same place you can find Natalie when she's not here.
This is my boss man, everybody.
Right. And of course, Mary Lynn, tell us where we can find you at, because you're traveling and doing your thing now. Where are you at besides here?
So Para with the Normal, we're actually on Stream Beacon TV and then also on Tubi. You can find us there. Season 2 is about to release. Right now it's being in the process of being reviewed. So hopefully that'll release on Stream Beacon in the next couple months. And then Lost Goat Productions. We're out on the road just doing a lot of filming and just running all over the place. And you can find me on Facebook, Mary Lynn Bast, Lost Goat Productions. We also have Lost Goat Podcast on Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
There you go.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
With that being said, everyone, Mary Lynn, I did change it over to the right one this time.
Okay.
We started off on the wrong show, but we ended up in the right place.
Okay,
But
good.
Here.
so
Would you
we'll
like
see
me to-
everybody. We'll see everybody next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central for the Paranormal Show and Tell. And then on Thursday again, right here for Blondes and Booze at 8 p.m. Central. So with that being said, good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.
The evidence is captured. The truth has been found. We documented the proof. Now we're breaking sacred ground. You saw the real secrets that need to be told. The mystery is solved. The case is now closed. Blondes and booze. But we've got friends who share the same fire. Shout out to the misfits, lifting spirits higher. Check out Paranormal Among Us, Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, and Texas Front Porch. A paranormal world, Donnie Cho says stuff. Truth or tinfoil and Bigfoot fades. Go give them a shout. Blondes and booze. Join us again when the spirits call out.